Star Wars 5-Minute Stories Strike Back. The first story in the collection is Star Wars The Phantom Menace, Short Negotiations. A sleek ship sped through the darkest reaches of space toward the beautiful green planet of Naboo. Inside were two Jedi, a master named Qui-Gon Jinn, and an apprentice named Obi-Wan Kenobi. They were on an important mission. There was trouble in that corner of the galaxy. Although the people of Naboo and their leader, Queen Amidala, were peaceful and kind, the greedy Trade Federation had surrounded the planet with huge battleships. The Trade Federation was using those ships to stop any food or supplies from reaching Naboo. The small planet needed the Jedi's help. Jedi Master Qui-Gon was confident that the negotiations would be short. He was sure that they could convince the Trade Federation to remove its blockade and free Naboo. What the Jedi didn't know was that the evil Sith Lord Darth Sidious was commanding the Trade Federation, and it was about to invade Naboo. Nobody had expected the Jedi to arrive. The Trade Federation Viceroy, who was in charge of the blockade, contacted Darth Sidious to ask what they should do. "This turn of events is unfortunate," the hologram of Darth Sidious told the Viceroy. "We must accelerate our plans. Begin landing your troops." "And the Jedi?" the Viceroy asked. Darth Sidious ordered the Viceroy to get rid of Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. The Viceroy had poisonous gas pumped into the room where the Jedi were waiting. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan ignited their lightsabers, but the weapons were no use against the heavy gas that filled the air. The Viceroy sent his battle droids to dispose of the Jedi, but when the droids opened the door, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan leapt out, ready to fight. They had held their breaths to survive the poisonous gas. The battle droids were armed with powerful blasters, but the Jedi blocked every shot with their lightsabers. The powerful laser swords flashed and sparks flew as they defeated the droid soldiers. In a panic, the Viceroy sealed off the bridge, trying to prevent the Jedi from getting in. "I want droidekas up here at once!" he cried. Then the blast doors protecting the bridge slammed shut too. But Qui-Gon pressed his lightsaber into the metal and began to cut through. "Impossible!" cried the Viceroy. "This is impossible!" He hadn't counted on the power of a Jedi's laser sword, or the strength of a Jedi's will. But just as Qui-Gon was about to break through the door to the bridge, two whirling wheels of metal spun into the hallway. "Master!" Obi-Wan exclaimed. "Destroyer droids!" The droidekas had arrived, and the droids uncoiled from their wheel-like forms. Powerful energy shields appeared around them as they began firing their blasters at the Jedi. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan used their lightsabers to block the heavy blasts. The bursts of dangerous light bounced off the Jedi's weapons and raced back toward the deadly destroyers, but the blasts simply fizzled against the droids' shields. The shield generators were powerful. The destroyer droids were an even match for the Jedi. It was a standoff. The Jedi decided to outrun the droids. Luckily, their Jedi powers gave them incredible speed. "Let's go," Qui-Gon told Obi-Wan, and in a sudden blur, the two Jedi fled. By the time the destroyer droids turned to look for them, they were already disappearing around a corner at the other end of a long hallway. Meanwhile, the Trade Federation's vast army of battle droids, tanks, and warships was preparing to invade Naboo. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan traveled through the air vents down to the huge hangar where they could see the battle droids preparing to leave. "It's an invasion army!" Obi-Wan exclaimed. Now the Jedi knew the truth. All along, the Trade Federation had been gearing up for war. "We've got to warn the Naboo," Qui-Gon said. "Let's split up, stow aboard separate ships, and meet down on the planet." Obi-Wan nodded. They had to help. The people of Naboo were peaceful. They had done nothing to deserve this. It would be hard and dangerous, but that was the life of a Jedi. Just as the two Jedi were about to part ways, something occurred to Obi-Wan, and he smiled. "You were right about one thing," he told his master. "The negotiations were short."